Hey, what's up everybody? It's Neil from Aviator. So, you smashed your paramotor up. How do you fix it? You smashed your net. You got bum hoop, you got bum spars, your frame's all bent up. We're gonna show you a few different things, a few different techniques and methods and how to straighten your paramotor out and get it back into shape. So yeah, this upper hoop here, as you can see, it's got a flat spot. If you look at it this way here, flat spot. If you look along this way, the frame is kicked back when it should be about 2-3 degrees forward like this. So it's kind of leaning back, as you can see there. We're gonna straighten that out. This hoop looks, this side's not too bad, but the other side, if you're looking straight down it, especially here, this got kind of pushed back this way. So we're gonna straighten that out as well. Some of these methods I'm about to show you here are more specific towards the Liberty and Limitless, but you could also use them on other paramotors as well. This is the best techniques that I've found so far. What I found to straighten the frame out, the easiest way is have a trailer of some kind. What I do is put a ratchet strap around, hook it up to the leaf spring, go around the frame. So the Liberty and Limitless in particular have this bend right here. That's where I'm placing the ratchet strap at, or cam strap, whatever you're using. Then come back around to the other side of the leaf spring. And all that does is hold the frame in place, nothing super fancy. And I've got this random piece of wood we had laying around here just to give you some distance from the trailer. As you can see, if I had the propeller on here, you would need a little bit of distance from the trailer. Also, the whole point of this is to hold the bottom of the frame as well, and you'll see in a little bit why that's there. So, tighten this up a little bit. And this spar in particular, it came out because of this frame being bent. Get that lined up and back in there. All right, now all you got to do, grab the top of the frame. A little bit more. Check your work. I'm going to raise the strap up a little bit. So this other side looks decent here. This side here, not so much. So what I'm gonna do is raise the strap up a little bit. Let's see if we can get our bend up a little bit higher. Tighten the strap up a little bit more. All you're doing is just working that titanium back into shape. There we go. The hoop's starting to look better. All the spars are starting to come back together. Like this gap over here that we had earlier is coming in. I'm gonna take the strap off. I wanna show this right here. Yeah, I wanna crank that back a little bit. All right, so we're gonna go through here. We're gonna pull on this back tube with the ratchet strap. Kind of get it in position where you're gonna want it to bend at. You know, I might need another piece of wood up there. This is another thing that there's 1,000 different ways to skin the cat, because different trailers obviously are gonna be different heights and everything. All right, so I got that against here. It's nice and tight. This ratchet strap's kinking a little bit, but that's all right. All right, just crank it down. As long as it's in the way. Just had to manhandle it a little bit. A little bit better. There we go. There, that's better. Yeah, that'll stiffen this section up. With it being so bent right there, it's just gonna be kind of weak. So getting this kind of back into shape will stiffen that up more. Yeah, other side looks good. One more pull. There, I like that way better. Patience and finesse. If you go a little bit too far, You can flip it around and basically do the opposite. Like this one, probably pull it back a little bit. Yeah, set it up, kind of the same thing. Butt the bottom of the frame up against something, then pull the opposite way and get it back to where you want it. Yeah, as you can see here, it's a little bit further forward than I would like, so I'll reset that, but yeah, you get the idea. Now we can go on to, we straighten out this hoop. See how we've got this flat spot right here. Try and bend this back. Put one foot on the bottom of the frame. Hold up here, your other arm here. Kind of get it in the middle of the flat spot. And push.
Right, where am I lifting?
Right, push.
Push where?
There we go. She's coming now. All right, do it down here, down a little bit more. There you go. There you go. This is something you can do out in the field. You're not, you don't have to disassemble the whole entire paramotor and get a bunch of U-bolts and make a jig to try and crank down on the U-bolts to straighten it out. Like that's a few other different manufacturers of frames. That's how we got to fix them. But these things especially, it's, you can straighten them out in the field pretty easily. That's how you straighten out the frame and the spars and the hoop and all that other sort of stuff. It's a lot of finesse. It's a lot of back and forth. Sometimes you take it a little bit too far and you got to go back the other way. But this is just general different ideas on how to fix your paramotor after you smash it instead of buying a whole entire new frame. All right, so now we're back in the shop here. These are the tools you're going to need to do the netting replacement. This is the net kit that you would get from us for Limitless. You get a set of rivets here. This is the net. You're going to need a drill with an 1/8 inch drill. You'll need a center punch to pop out the old rivets once you drill them. This is a pneumatic rivet gun. Don't necessarily need this, but it does make life a lot easier. And a hand rivet gun. If this is probably what you'll end up having. You can get these at a hardware store. They're nice and cheap. So yeah, let's get at it. So the key thing for drilling out the rivets is slow speed, lots of pressure. Basically, you're using this drill bit to rip the head off. You're not drilling through it or anything. So remember, slow and pressure. Try and get a good angle on it. Got the drill on it, putting pressure, slow. The object is to not let the rivet turn too much. See, it's starting to go. And because we're filming, this one's giving me a little bit of challenge. Normally this pops right off, no problem. There we go. There's one. Do another one. Pressure, slow, rip the head off. There's that. And then you repeat that process 50 times. This really isn't hard, it's just tedious. There's just a lot of these. The advantages of having a riveted net is it's a lot cheaper. Like I said, the replacement for the Limitless is $70 versus a few $100s for some of the other manufacturers. They're pretty expensive for the whole net assembly. It's just a bit tedious to replace it. But take your time, get some good tunes on, have a cup of coffee, whatever, and knock it out. It's not hard at all. So once you've got the rivet heads drilled off, there will be a little bit of remaining rivet here. Stick that little punch in there, pop the net out, so on and so on. So our Liberty has magically morphed into a Limitless frame that's completely stripped down. We didn't need to replace that net on that machine, but we do need to put one on this frame, so that we're going to use this opportunity to show you how to lay the net out, different ways of making sure you don't screw it up. It's like you know how when you're buttoning up a shirt sometimes and you get the wrong button in the wrong spot? That can typically happen when you're laying a net out on a frame, so some different ways to avoid that happening and having to drill all those rivets out again and start from scratch. When you get the net from us, comes like this. So untape this here. Kind of pull that out. They've got it threaded through here, so it kind of keeps everything together. And we're going to want to lay it out on the floor to try and find the ends. All right, so I've laid the net out on the floor, and what the object of this is to find the very ends of the net, the very corners of it. On the Limitless here, the ends of the net will have this one extra knot in it. But when you lay it out, you got it spread out good, you can tell exactly where the ends of it are. So that's going to be our starting point. Grab these rivets, a rivet gun. Start at the bottom. You're not going to actually rivet these right away. Taking this knot here. We know that this is the end of the net because it has this extra knot in it. This goes in the hole. This, kind of use the rivet to get it started. Then stick the rivet in there. Actually, we will pop this one in. All right. Now, we want to do the other side. Let's make sure we got the right part. Same thing. This knotted end here. Knotted end in the hole. You can use the rivet to kind of push it in there. Here, use this end of the rivet here to kind of guide it. Start on one end and do every single one all the way around and just keep going. So for each hole, you're looking for this loop right here. It's this gray loop. So obviously this is the second one. So it would go in this hole here, second hole. Now when you set the rivet, leave just a little loop, a little bit of that gray loop out so the net can kind of slide back and forth in it. You don't want to go too tight. Also, that gray loop should be facing forward, not to the side, not to the back, anything like that. Always double check as you're going along to make sure you are indeed putting the next one in and not misgrabbing this one or something like that. That's what you want to try to avoid, is again, like buttoning up your shirt incorrectly. So through the magic of camera, again, our frame has morphed into a Liberty with a nice new net all through it. Don't be intimidated by doing this. Yes, it's a little bit tedious and everything, but it's really not too hard. When you're drilling, just don't drill through the titanium. If you do, you'll just have to use a bigger rivet or something. Don't be intimidated by it. You can definitely do it. This is Neil from Aviator. Like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff, and I'll see you on the next one.